Good afternoon, my friends. Daniel Miller here. How is everybody doing today? Hope you're well, healthy, and indeed happy at home, playing your favorite computer games, video games, I should say, really, because we play them on all platforms, inclusive of two consoles and Stadia and PCs and laptops and everything else. So, Android as well, I shouldn't forget. Drizzly weather up here yet again today. It's been raining quite a bit yesterday, and when I went for my dinner it was rather soggy, I have to tell you. But yeah, it's quite fresh, so I can't complain. I really was very unhappy with that massive heat and humidity that we'd had in August, and that's long gone. No more heat waves this year, I don't think. And I really enjoyed that fresh air and lack of humidity, because I live near a major nature reserve, and obviously I can walk down the river and enjoy all the niceties both at day and night, and that is particularly useful during the time of this absolutely ghastly pandemic. I keep saying every single day when I come live on air that I hope everybody is healthy, safe and well, because if you recall my earlier broadcast of the year, then you'd remember I was giving a long introduction on what people should and should not do in order to avoid catching this dreadful coronavirus that leads to COVID-19, that in many cases is a deadly viral infection. So today is a big day. In fact, we have quite a number of games released on Xbox Game Pass, and I'm very happy to see that some of my, I wouldn't say favorites, but the games I anticipated, the games I wanted to play, are included. I'll tell you a bit about that in a moment. And on the other hand, I want to give you an apology for what happened yesterday. I think I got my dates somewhat wrong, because the chapters of Tell Me Why are to be released for download on Thursdays and fully accessible for our streams here, and obviously the gameplay on Xbox Game Pass on Friday. Because I kept getting the messages when trying to access the game yesterday, constantly saying you'll be able to download it on the 3rd, and as the hours went by, it was still like 6 or 7 o'clock PM, and I still couldn't get it. Still, the download was not taking place, but I did manage to get it later in the evening after I got back, and we had it fully installed. And as said yesterday, our double bill, well, it should have been yesterday really, of Tell Me Why and Red Dead Redemption is not going to commence today. But very excited about Tell Me Why, very excited about the story and all that is to unravel. They were giving us a trailer that I have to say is a bit of a spoiler. We do have a lot of activity. As you know, the chapters are fairly short, and therefore I'd advise people maybe to skim it if you are interested in finding out by yourself as you play the game, and that's certainly the case for myself when I do adventure games. Overall, I really do not like having any spoilers, and we know that the industry wants us to be watching all the interviews and developer diaries, and you know, like when you go to International Movie Database, you get loads of information about the product. I have to say that I think they're keeping it better under the wraps as far as the television series and films are concerned compared to the video industry. We have early gameplay, we have people from the development team coming in and talking about all that is going to be happening. I think for a game like Destiny, with that kind of magnitude and massive big open world, it'll be very hard to remember all they said unless you were watching it on your screen, really being played live. But for smaller games like this one, which are really based on a linear storytelling with a relationship between two characters, any form of spoilers may well be interfering with your overall enjoyment of the game. They don't have to, but I think sometimes they are. And if you recall, we've had a major backlash to do with spoilers as far as the leaks of The Last of Us 2 were concerned, and the game in the first couple of weeks received very poor ratings, which was completely ill-conceived and unjustified, but it was based on a rumor. It was based on a rumor that had been spreading for a number of weeks before the game release, and the development team was very worried about the possible backlash, which in fact did take place. But at the end of the day, it became the best-selling game of all times on PS4. Therefore, they didn't have to worry too much. But they didn't worry about the revenue. They knew that the game was going to be selling. What they did get really greatly concerned about was the responses of the dedicated fans, because if you have, let's say, 25 million people being very unhappy, that means they could probably basically migrate from the game to any other. and they have plenty of other games they can choose from. The games that are, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, I don't know what is going on. I do apologise, my voice was perfectly alright and then suddenly it went. Anyway, I need to carry on with all that I was going to tell you. So yeah, you've had 25 million people who were dedicated fans of a particular game. In this instance we are talking about The Last of Us 2. Then the danger is they'll migrate to another game and I apologise, I have some technical issues in here and they look fully resolved. Yeah, the gamers could just migrate to all the other titles, and yeah, the series The Last of Us had been setting up a particular kind of structure where you have two people that you're following throughout the game. In this instance it's Joel and Ellie, and we've seen in A Plague Tale we have a brother and a sister, we have two brothers in Brothers A Tale of Two Sons. So if they get very annoyed with the fact that the spoilers did not really work out for them and something else was given, then they can always go to another game, and that itself is not appreciated. And that's really where the worries were as far as the DRBMiller, the Naughty Dog team, were concerned. But it paid off in the end. They sold the game in a big way, and we've seen that everything kind of picked up as we went along a few weeks later. So that was just about the spoilers that I felt were included in the trailer that we watched for Tell Me Why. Everyone who's been here with us last week knew that we completed the chapter 1. We've gone through the whole story, and I was surprised with how brief it appeared to be, but on the other hand we are given several chapters delivered in installments. Then evidently the final game will be fairly sizable, and the gameplay that I completed was probably within about 5 hours of duration. So about 3 chapters, that's 15 hours, so that's going to be fairly substantial for anyone who is very keen on adventure games. And we also had the introduction of a very special character, and I'm not going to tell you what the auspices are because that would be a spoiler. I'm just telling you I do not like spoilers myself. You'll discover as you carry on with the game when you watch it here, or indeed when you access it on Xbox Game Pass. And there will be a lot more to unravel, because the chapter 1 ended with us exploring some files at the police station. To summarize, those two characters are siblings, and they've had a very, very traumatic childhood. They were separated, I think, at the age of 8, and they've not been together for about 10 years, and then they decided to go back to their own childhood home to discover what secrets we'd had and what really had happened, really. And we are going to be finding out a lot more as we carry on. Before we do that, I need to tell you about those new games coming out on Xbox Game Pass. You will know that we are promoting Xbox Game Pass in here, and that is very much to do with the abundance of titles that are offered every single week, and this week is no exception. I think Microsoft are beefing up the number of titles that are present on the console and obviously on the service, and that is in view of the fact that Halo Infinite, that was to be released together with the new console, has been significantly delayed. They're talking about sometime late next year, and we are all happy that they delayed the game. We do not want to have, you know, the repeat of Anthem scenario, but the game was released too early, it didn't work out on a technical front. We really want to have everything to be as good as possible, and that certainly is the intention of the development team. So we are looking forward to see what other services and niceties Microsoft will provide us with as the new console is launched. I have to say, I did see some dissatisfaction on various social networking forums because very many Xbox gamers wanted to buy the Xbox Project X exclusive, you know, the special edition that would have Halo Infinite fully included. Maybe the Xbox would be painted, would have the, you know, the usual kind of nice elements of the privilege that you get if you are the first one in, and they were really angry about this, you know, that. And I think Microsoft had definitely kind of migrated to the Xbox Game Pass as the Prime service, and they want to be introducing as many games as possible, and overall they see that service coupled with xCloud as being something totally innovative, new, and geared up towards next generation gaming. So we've been getting about 3 or 4 games, 5, 6 games per week during the last 2 months, I think, and this week is no exception. I'm just looking at what we were given in here, and we have here Resident Evil, and that is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. That's been introduced yesterday. We have Lunar Nights, that is also accessible straight away on Xbox Game Pass. Then we have the Jackbox Party Pack 4, and we have also the what is it now? Is it The World According to Zed? That is the last one. I've seen it advertised today, and unfortunately I haven't got it here lined up on my matrix, so I won't be able to tell you all the details, but certainly 4 games are coming out today. We've got some announcements. Let me see whether that is included. No, unfortunately not. Just telling us that we are going to be losing Red Dead Redemption 2 next week. Alright, so that's not really off. That's no longer of concern. Right, so I told you about the new games coming out on Xbox Game Pass today. I think lots of people are very keen on Resident Evil. As you know, Resident Evil overall has been proprietary to PlayStation, so anytime you have it included here on special offers through the store, or if any of the Resident Evil games feature on instant streaming services, that obviously here are called Xbox Game Pass, and maybe in due course we have a week dedicated to Resident Evil. We can go through all the games, because obviously, as you know, I stream on all platforms, and therefore be no problem just hopping on PlayStation and starting from scratch. But I was considering whether to buy the first 4 games on Xbox as well. They were offered on a price of what was it? I think roughly £6 per game, and I think if I'm considering the whole series, Resident Evil 4 had remained my personal favourite. It really had everything, you know, from very good story to the atmosphere, and a lot of thrills and chills literally throughout, as well as some deadly monsters and beasts and bosses, as well as a very good resolve right at the end. So definitely it stands out as a monumental achievement. But on the other hand, we've seen the remake of 2 and 3. I've not played those 2, but people who had originally entertained the original games were very, very excited and very happy. I talked to some of my US friends, and they, really gave it all sort of 10 out of 10. So that is still for me to try. But as you know, I'll be waiting for those prices to drop. That is the bottom line, and I will be kind of looking forward for some special offers. That is for those exclusives and for those remakes. We also had some Final Fantasy 7 and 9, I think, introduced to Xbox Game Pass. I've looked at them the other day and they looked really very good. I was very happy with the way they were sort of tailored for the usage on the server. And as you know, Final Fantasy 7 is one of the most popular still until the present day, and if I'm not mistaken, we are expecting the major remake to come out. And we have also number 16 on Xbox Game Pass for anybody who is in awe of the series. And just coming back to all I said, I actually yesterday had tried several games. Bard's Tale was one of them, and I was absolutely blown away by the quality of that remaster as well as the reworking of the original game. It is just a true delight to revisit, and I will be playing it quite a bit as soon as the time becomes available, because at the moment I have quite a lot on my plate and the schedule is very tight with all that we are doing here, and all the time really working on literally two of my hubs, one dedicated to gaming, the other to films. And so really look forward to playing that game. It is one of the more recent acquisitions on Xbox Game Pass, and it's just terrific, really. It's very funny, and you have a lot of puns and comedic dialogue as well as a very good story. The other game I tried, and I have to say I was completely captivated, that's for the second night in a row. 2 nights ago was Nightcall, the French indie developers' quirky film noir tale of a taxi driver who gets, by the sheer force of circumstance, suspected of murders, and he then needs to be collaborating together with the police in order to find who the serial killer is. Wonderful game, beautifully written. The dialogue is like, truly hard-boiled, as if, for instance, literally Chandler or Hammett were providing it for the developer. And you have really this atmospheric, dark and deadly Paris, and he drives. It's there's this element of Scorsese's Taxi Driver as well, because this guy is obviously seriously disturbed and having lots of different problems as well as having criminal history, and you're really captivated. And also the way they've done the game, it's very basic graphics, but it doesn't really matter. You have this map when you're driving the taxi from one place to another, picking up different customers. They're telling you all about their personal history, and you're just completely engrossed and immersed in all that is being said. So really highly recommend it. And yesterday I was literally just skimming through some of the games, wanted to find out what on earth I downloaded to my hard drive. 75 games, that's like really very many on the hard drive, and I'm just going every day through about 5 to have a look what is the flavour I'm getting through the game as I obviously try to play them. And yesterday one of the games on the list was Mad of Maiden, and it's been on Xbox Game Pass now for probably more than 6 weeks, and I've had it on the top of my list. So really there's a sense of urgency for me to crack on with some of the games, and the reason is very simple. I've been missing out on some of the gameplay because they do not tell you when the cut-off date is going to be. So with Kingdom Come Deliverance and with Red Dead Redemption, both of these games, which are incredibly big, you can play them for many months, I was not able to finish in time. And I got the notification the other day from Microsoft saying we are cutting off Red Dead on, I think, the 7th of September. So I'm not really that keen on not being given prior warnings, but that is in order for you to kind of always try the games when they come out. That's the idea behind it, and therefore you'd expect for a massive game like Red Dead or Kingdom Come Deliverance, you'd have 6 months, for that game to be on a server. But that's not really the way the developer wants it. The developer wants the presence on the Xbox Game Pass to be driving the sales. So people who really get their teeth into Red Dead, play let's say 2 hours a night, after 2 months will be probably less than 1/4 to the game, and then you get the cut-off date, which means they need to buy the game. And I think that's the kind of industry model that they're toying with and experimenting with at the moment on different platforms. I think generally it will work very well, because I personally had purchased some of the games exactly for the same reason. The only difference there was I didn't go for the games that were extremely expensive. I've been looking for special offers, and for a game that is going to be discontinued on Xbox Game Pass, you will get discounts anything from 15 to 70% depending on what publisher is providing the Microsoft Store with. So, I've been taught a lesson with Kingdom Come Deliverance. They've offered it on the special price, and that's the premium edition with everything included, the ultimate, so to speak. It's called the Royal Pack or the Royal Edition, and I got all the DLCs as well as extra gear and cosmetics and you name it, there's all sorts of things in there for £15. So that really exceeds my budget. I prefer the games to be somewhere between 5 and 10, and for the blockbusters I'll go for 6 and 7, 8 maybe, and maybe even 10. Very rarely will I exceed this, but I've got to say the reason I paid £15 is that I really loved the game. Kingdom Come Deliverance is probably, for myself, one of the best, the most immersive, probably the most complete RPGs, historic RPGs, period pieces ever created. And as somebody who has a huge interest in Central European history, that game is like a walkthrough through the ancient kingdoms of Central Europe. You will learn everything about every single monarch and ruler as you play the game. You'll enjoy the gameplay, you get to know some of the characters, but you'll get to know a lot about history. It's done on a massive big epic scale without that budget that Ubisoft have, for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's a truly remarkable achievement. There's some really difficult hurdles in the game as well, but you'll be able to bypass them as you go along, and you need many hours invested, and you need to play the game really slowly because there isn't the need to be racing, as you get lots of side quests and side missions, sub quests, and they all kind of blend in perfectly together. So that's the reason why I bought it. With Red Dead, I think when it expires next week, I'm not going to be buying it because the price is still about £38-40, and the Ultimate, that also includes the access and the seasons on the online version, is about £80, and I'm a bit, it's a bit surprising that they're still keeping the price, as high as that, considering they had the best sales in history once the game came out, and I think it was about, was it $750 million or within the first 3 days? It was just unbelievable sales, and obviously the game is incredibly popular. And if you play it, if you watch our streams, you will see as to why the game is incredible. If anything, it has some of the best Wild West environments ever created, and you will get seems to me that there's some sort of problem with my connection here. That's because of that accident. I think my cable is a bit damaged now. The cable that's connecting my controller to the Xbox. We'll see. Hopefully it will all work. If not, I will have to quickly go to CX and buy a new one because this is not going to work. I can see where the problem is, but it's very annoying. It's a PS4 cable that connects controllers to consoles. It can be used on Xbox as well. USB connectivity. Where was I? Red Dead Redemption 2, absolutely beautifully atmospheric. If you are a dedicated fan of graphic novels that were embedded within that part of American history, the 19th century, Civil War, and everything else in consequence, like Blueberry in particular is the graphic novel I really adored in the 70s. I collected them through various installments, and then in the 80s I bought them in big graphic novel albums, which were wonderful. Still have the entire collection. So if you are really in awe of Blueberry, and if you are playing Red Dead, you will find that these two worlds are merging. In fact, I do feel that the second installment is more in tune with that world of the French graphic novel artists than the first one, and that is to do with the sheer quantity of content, the number of characters, the activities, and just the way you play the game. And I tried the game and I went through 2 chapters a little while back, maybe a couple of months ago, but after replaying them I really kind of truly began to love the game, and it is a game, I have to say, that requires full attention. You didn't want to be doing it together with 2 or 3 other games. You really want to be completely part of this world, and you want to get to know the characters, explore the environment, and soak up the story. And this is where you are going to have a huge amount of enjoyment and excitement. So remember that there are games which could be fitted in with others. Destiny you can play at all times because it has non-linear storytelling, doesn't require that degree of attention. But in here, you will have to be memorizing some of your activities, and you'll be collecting bounties, and really the number of inventory items like cigarette cards and postcards and various other things, different types of itinerary which you're collecting, are very similar to what you have in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because they're really telling you all about that 19th century history of the USA. And you will get to know about lots of different characters, like for instance gunslingers and artists and musicians and politicians and some parts of the country. It's a bit like a picture postcard of the Wild West, and you will enjoy it absolutely and most thoroughly. So, it is a must for anybody who's a video gaming fan. Red Dead enjoy it 100% here on Xbox Game Pass, or indeed if you purchase it. I'd say go for the Ultimate Edition, because that's the full pack, and you will have a lot of fun by first of all going through the game, completing it, and then migrating to Red Dead Redemption 2 Online. That is an extension of the world that we had experienced on console, and plenty of new characters and activities. But I got to say, some friends told me that as they went to the online section, they found that there was a lot of toxic interactivity, and I guess that must have been to do with co-op play and doing some activity with strangers and people who they just picked up through matchmaking. It's very, very sorry and sad to hear that, because the game doesn't have that aura. But on the other hand, you are playing those outlaws, and some people, when they play video games, they get kind of completely overtaken by the nature of the protagonist. To have a criminal, serial killer, or terrorist, then the gamer overtakes that character and they behave in the same fashion, which I think is dreadful. It's completely disreputable. So I personally have not experienced it, and people who come to my channel generally are very polite and friendly, and they will know that this is a mature gamers channel that's also training and teaching younger gamers on all that is video gaming related. So I don't get many of those trolls, but in PvP there are a few. So I told you a bit about Xbox Game Pass, the new games, and particularly I forgot to tell you, I started telling you about Man of Medan, and I forgot to elaborate. I just diverted to the entire experience of Xbox Game Pass. But basically, Man of Medan is a very, very eerie horror game, and it's like a psychological thriller where you are exploring and investigating every one of the characters as you go along, and the investigation is very much in depth, and you can double check their relationships at all times through a kind of matrix that pops up on a menu. There are lots of things you can do in there, and the atmosphere is second to none. I've got to say that similar to the flicks like Blair Witch Project, that had this it was invented, they made it like a documentary, and most people thought that this was actually happening. It was a record of the activity that took place in the forest somewhere in the middle of America, but actually it was a feature film, and people were really scared because of the way the film was done. Well, you get the same elements in the atmosphere in Man of Medan. It's very scary, and if you have high quality headset, if you're watching it on your home cinema screen, well, don't play it on full blast, because you will be terrified. You'll get some bad dreams. And to tell you the truth, believe you me, I played only about 20 minutes of it, and there's like a particularly weird interaction that has some elements of supernatural, during the very beginning of the game. And not telling you what it is. If you obviously enter the game, don't want to give you any spoilers, but I had that in my dreams last night. It did invade my dreams. I couldn't believe it. It's just, I don't remember, the last time I would have played the game and something would have was quite an experience. But the reason for that might have been linked to the hour. I played it just before I went to bed, and that's not really a thing to do. Don't play these weird, eerie, scary horror games, survival games before you go to bed. I don't really get affected, so I don't know, no idea what caused it, but it definitely did take place. Okay, Man and Maiden, 10 out of 10, really wonderful, and anybody who's interested in psychological thrillers, horror stroke survival games, it is going to be your top-notch game. So if you're a subscriber to the Ultimate, do not waste time, download and crack on. But the time's come for us to crack on with our game here. We have a busy afternoon ahead of us. It's funny because I said I'm going to be delivering introductions and news in a separate format, but I never can really flee from that being part and parcel of my actual gaming broadcast. Can't tell you why, maybe just because this is the way I've been doing it all along, we'll have to see. But I've still not done any of the bulletins. I said I was going to do them every day, but just didn't manage, there was not enough time. And the number of things happening has been quite overwhelming. Gamescom over the weekend, and all the news coming in my way through Microsoft and everything else. So just bear with me, I'm a bit hot. I need to get rid of my jumper. Bear with us. Some really weird weather out here. 1 minute it feels cold, next minute it's hot, but it kind of hots up in here when I plug in all of my equipment. Like initially it's kind of cool and to a degree chilly, so now after I've been running my equipment with my 2 displays and console and everything else, well, the room became a bit hot really, or actually warmer than before, therefore my jumper was no longer necessary. I always have it at hand because of the virus and everything else, so I don't want to be catching anything else during the pandemic. Today we'll have, firstly, Tell Me Why. It's about 7 minutes past 3, so we'll have an hour of this wonderful new Xbox exclusive adventure game. It is accessible on Xbox Game Pass. We had, as I mentioned earlier, the Chapter 1 delivered last week. It was preloaded. We were able to crack on Friday, and the same thing was off. I kept thinking yesterday it was Friday. I think that's why I got it all wrong. But they will be allowing it to preload day in advance, and then you can crack on with the game on Friday. Friday is the release date. And right, so we played it. You've heard already from me that we have our 2 characters investigating the activities from their distant past, notably certain incidents that took place in their childhood. So we'll carry on with this. We left it off as we realized that there's been a grisly incident right at the end of the Chapter 1. It came up in the memories, and it came our way after they investigated some files at the police station, and they talked also, I think, to the uncle who was telling them a bit more about their mother. So let's see what is to follow. Tell Me Why, Chapter 2.
Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, there lived a pair of crafty goblins.
The crafty goblins did everything together, until one day, when darkness overwhelmed the big wooden house in which they lived.
Blamed for the darkness, Brother Goblin was forced to leave the forest, while his sister had to stay behind.
Years later, they were finally reunited, and together, they decided to confront the darkness in the big wooden house.
Though they sought the help of their friends in the forest, they found that no one wanted to delve into the long-gone past.
This is how the goblins found themselves alone in the woods, trying to discover why darkness had submerged the big wooden house.
This is one of the stories that she had in her journal.
Tomorrow we should play Compass and North Star in the woods.
Be sure to wear your hat then.
You be sure to wear your hat.
All right, who wants ice cream?
Me!
Eat up.
These were the happy times.
Without a word, she went out and buried the tiara in the ground beneath the sapling. And as the final scoop of dirt fell, the tiara felt truly gone, and with it, the final link to her old self. She could only go forward and find a new place for herself in this world, where she was no longer truly a princess in a tiara and a beautiful gown, but a wan woman, alone in a deep and ancient wood. And that was how the princess lost her most precious treasure. And
I don't like that story. There were no goblins, and it was depressing.
we won't read it again.
I love you, Mom.
Not me. Just kidding. Love you, Mom.
Mwah. I love you too. Sleep well and dream, my doves.
Ollie? Ollie? What a waste.
Allison! Ollie! Allison, help!
Part of that we've seen last time.
I need to call for help. Allison. I killed Mom. I killed her.
Yeah, that was the ending. Chapter 2, Family Secrets, was the ending of Chapter 1, yet retold from a different angle. So you still have to go back to Chapter 1 to find out what really happened. And there are two memories. It's a memory.
Try to keep you safe.
Hey. You doing all right?
I thought coming here would be closing a chapter of our lives, you know?
And instead, we've spun off a whole miserable prequel trilogy. Okay. No. We're not letting ourselves do this again. Come on, up. Mind-numbing labor's a great way to forget your troubles.
Can't we just have coffee instead?
No. On your feet, soldier.
On your feet, soldier.
Let's take a break from packing and sort out the furniture. If we get enough done, I'll drive you into town and buy you a gallon of ice cream.
Mint chocolate chip, 2 gallons. Let's do this.
Mint chocolate chip, 2 gallons. Trash.
Goblin face is keep, $sign is donate or sell, and trash can is, well, trash. By the way, I cleared out most of the stuff in the bathroom this morning, but I left you the toilet.
How very generous of you. What to do with this?
Let's see what it is.
Tables are expensive. And besides, this one's an Allison and Tyler original.
Bit rusty on this, no?
What's this doing down here? Is that gum? Ugh. I guess that was probably me.
So we've got the new collectible. What is the collectible? The big frog. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Take
The big frog is an effervescent creature who tries to be kind, but is also a tireless gossip. The Ice King punished her once by telling her his deepest secret. If she ever tells anyone, she'll lose her voice forever.
the goblins were here. Second time. Something else.
I completely forgot we had a pet vole for a few days.
Poor Volcano. She was in rough shape when we found her. Good thing Marianne actually knew what she was doing with injured wildlife.
Finish your salad first. Thank you, Tessa. You're a lifesaver.
Oh, don't worry about it. They're just leftovers from the restaurant.
What about Volcano? She needs to eat her lunch too.
Oh, quite right, love.
She can have my corn.
Here you go, little one. You must be hungry too.
Looks like Tessa didn't have that broom up her ass back then.
To play the game, you always have to be paying attention to the memories arising, and then you'll be picking up the situations from the past, giving you some clues on what actually happened in here.
That's a nice vase.
I wonder if my horse figurine is still in there.
You're welcome to stick your hand in there to check.
Wonder where that would be. Some of the bits and pieces are here. Anything on the table? Nothing. I think there's something in there.
Ugh, gross stain is gross.
What happened?
Some unfortunate spillage that brought about the end of indoor tea parties. I hid the stain with my toys, forgetting that they would eventually be picked up.
Brilliant move, Ronan.
I was so afraid that Marianne would ground me for the rest of my life.
But she didn't, right?
No. I remember her saying that sufficiently adventurous play ensures that accidents will happen, and that it wasn't a big deal. But still, no more tea parties inside.
No more tea parties inside.
You hungry? We have a whole lot of nothing.
I was hoping maybe you could make me one of those pickle and ketchup sandwiches.
I'm sorry, sir. We are all out of pickles today. Could I interest you in a ketchup-only sandwich? Looks like there's still a bottle back here.
Ew.
Says the guy who used to eat peanut butter with ranch.
So good.
It's like a scrapbook. Oh no, that's a cookery book. Dumping cake. 1 can of cherries, 1 can of crushed pineapple, 8 ounces of chopped walnuts, crossed out by twins, chocolate chips for the cake mix, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon salt, etc., etc. Sprinkle cake mix over pineapple and cherry mixture. Sprinkle walnuts over top, walnuts crossed out, drawing of chocolate bar instead. Bake in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for 35 or 40 minutes until golden brown. Every day, please, Mum. The twins obviously were very keen on some of the cookies the biscuits made. Wow. Present in the household frequently, so therefore they really enjoy them.
Ancient appliances, you are staying here. Although, that oven looks in okay enough shape.
No way. We are not moving the oven.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks?
Oh, we got a rare achievement, kick me. And that's when you are placing the sticker on Tyler's back. Well, only have 4% of people figured this. I happen to be one of those.
Crummy table and wobbly chairs. We could make some pretty good money if we sell this. And I know I'd end up eating on the couch most of the time anyway.
Oh god. What's that smell?
What's that smell? What's that smell? Smells like delicious garbage. Ooh, yes, delicious indeed. Or could it be Stinky Pants Sam? Oh, Stinky Pants Sam!
Come on now. Sam got that smell getting a skunk out of our barn. Be nice.
A skunk? What did you do to her? Is she okay?
Sure is. She just went hunting for food and couldn't get back out. All she needed was a little nudge to get her on her way.
Sam Kansky, hero of skunk kind.
I remember being super impressed by him. And it made me want to be a wild animal superhero too. Allison, I asked you to clean up the coffee table 3 times already.
Oops, I forgot.
Well, we couldn't redo it before because the game was not allowing us to. We did double check this table.
All right, I'll clean it up.
Anything else?
Thanks. While you do that, I'll check out the furniture. I'm guessing you want to keep the coffee table?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Sure. I'm not really planning on bringing furniture to Denali. And if I need a base in Juneau, you'll have all the furniture I need.
How very non-committal of you. All right, I'll keep it.
That's a
I really
major
like
clean.
that armchair.
It'll look sharp next to your tree stump nightstand.
I'll be the most stylish mountain man ever. But I was actually thinking it should go in your library.
Library? We may not even have a living room.
I have faith in you.
Maybe it'll be salvageable with a deep clean?
And finally. I hate to say it, but the couches get a one-way ticket to the dump.
No protest here. I think I have permanent knee damage from a decade of bumping into the corner of those damn things.
Well, then that's it for the living room. You are relieved from your duties.
You are relieved from your duties. Oh, stickers indicating what's to be done. Various items.
What's up?
Should I throw these pictures out?
I mean, most of them are pretty happy memories.
I guess.
You look cute here.
That's not me. I mean, it is, but
But not really. I get it.
it's just weird. Seeing myself like that again. Damn. Didn't think a picture could throw me like this anymore.
I'm sorry. That sounds really rough.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm like 1,000 times better. But I've got a ways to go before I'm comfortable taking my shirt off. Which is why I'm scheduling my top surgery as soon as we sell this house. No more putting a binder on every morning. God, that sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, totally. Just so you know, I'll be there to help out when you do. Whatever you need.
Thanks.
All right. What's your verdict, Ronan?
You know what? I'll keep a few. To remind us how far we've come.
There's another photograph.
Oh man, I love this one.
Why do I look so pissed? I remember loving this.
Maybe because Marianne was sticking a camera in your face?
Come on, smile, like Allison. Come on, honey, smile, like Allison.
Hold up your fish.
It's not my fish anymore. Allison stole it.
My sister, the fish thief.
You were just being bratty.
Was I though?
Yes. All I did was help clean it when we were out on the porch.
Eddie had to force you to share.
Steady now. Take your time. He's not gonna jump up and do the cha-cha.
What about me? I want to clean the fish too.
It's not even your fish. You didn't catch anything.
Ugh, only because you wouldn't stop talking and scared all the fish away.
Keep your eyes on what you're doing. Allison, when we're done with this half, you can take over and do the other one. That sound fair?
Yes.
You're right. I was kind of being a brat. Hey, Allison, come take a break with me.
Take a break. Isn't all that much work done, I don't think. Where's it gone? Oh, he's there. Okay.
Starting the fire again?
Yeah, I'm gonna boil some water. You want something to drink?
What kind of teas have they got in there? Choose tea.
Earl Grey or chai?
Your call. I'm fixing myself a good old cup of joe.
Ah, a nice pot of wakey juice.
Papa needs his rocket fuel.
I am so glad Eddie came through on the caffeine.
Shh, did you hear that?
The Ice King is sending us a warning.
The Ice King is sending us a warning. Where's the memory?
For your punishment, said the Ice King, you shall be banished from the forest. And if you dare come back before the new moon, you shall feel my anger in your gut. Hear it in the wind. Whoosh!
Do you think the Ice King would really react that way? He may be intimidating, but he's always fair and never mean.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe he tells the goblins to help the people they hurt instead?
Great idea, sweetie. Why don't we think about it at dinner? I'll put everything away for safekeeping while you go wash your hands.
Can you put them in the binder so they don't get stained?
Of course, love.
I still think my dark and twisty version was better.
We put so many hours into that book.
Yeah. Our binder was full of extra drawings and incomplete stories. I think they're all still in the kitchen drawer.
We should go take a look. Hey, Allison. Let's Allison's first drafts. Right. Because I didn't contribute at all.
Come on. I know you did. I can't believe she kept all these.
You'd think putting them on the fridge for a couple of weeks would have been enough.
You know how we thought of ourselves as the goblins? Did you ever get the sense that maybe Marianne was the princess in the stories?
Yeah. She called her bedroom the princess's sanctum, and she was all alone in the woods, in this house, until we showed up.
She was. Alone, but with a few friends who helped her along the way.
What are you doing?
Research. So, if Marianne was the princess, then who were all the rest?
And here we go.
Oh, come on. Humor me.
All the tales are in there. Fox, bear, and princess. Once upon a time in the ancient and deep forest, the old bear stood on the bank of the river, swiping at salmon on the way to the spawning grounds. Just as he'd gone to spawn a particularly fat one, he heard a woman shouting for help. He considered simply eating the salmon, but she screamed again and lumbered over to investigate. After a short walk, he found the princess clinging to the top of the tree, one of them snared and snapped at the base of the tree. Bear would normally not get in the middle of such a situation. After all, as a fellow predator, he understood the wolves need to hunt. When he saw the princess, he was struck by her beauty and knew he had to help. With a great roar, the bear heaved onto his hind legs, rising to his full height. The wolf snapped and snarled in his direction, but the bear roared again, and the wolf took off into the trees, tail between his legs. The old bear fell back onto all fours and stared up at the princess. She found him fearfully. "You can come down," he said. "How do you know you didn't save me just so you could eat me yourself?" asked the princess. "I suppose this is a fair question," admitted the old bear, "but I promise I will not eat you." The princess had no reason to trust the old bear, except that he had kind eyes, and so slowly made her way down from the tree. When she reached the ground, the bear only watched her, and so she supposed she was not going to be eaten today. "Thank you," she told the old bear. "Of course," he said. "Can I walk with you back to your home?" "Of course," said the princess. So the princess and the old bear walked together through the forest back to the big house. After the day, the princess would occasionally find gifts from the bear: a fresh caught salmon, a handful of fried berries, a newly bloomed bluebell. One spring, a sudden thaw flooded the path out of the princess' home. The bear was there. She rode his back across the river. The old bear began to think that the princess would be his mate. After all, she had no mate, and she needed one, and he could keep her warm, and provided a much more suitable pen to catch fish from her and protect her from the wolves. She in turn would brush out his fur, pick berries without smooshing half of them, scratch that one part of his back he couldn't reach, and with how she took care of the goblins, she would be an excellent mother for his cubs. One day, the old bear came with a ring of spruce and asked the princess to be his bride. "I'm sorry," said the princess. "You are a very good friend and appreciate all you've done for me, but I cannot marry you. You are a bear. I'm a princess. It will never work." The old bear was crushed. "Can we still be friends?" he asked. "We will always be friends," said the princess, "but I will never marry you." The old bear and the princess carried on their friendship, and after 1 year he tried again to ask her to be his bride, but once again she refused him. This happened 1 year later, and 1 year after that. And then finally the princess said, "Old bear, you are my dear friend, and I appreciate all you have done for me, but I would sooner you have left me to the wolves than marry you, and that is how it always will be. I have my hands full of the 2 goblins who live under my house, and they are all all I need. That wounded the old bear deeply. It was finally enough to stop his proposals. They remained friends, and he continued to give her gifts of fresh salmon and ripe berries and newly bloomed bluebells, but the old bear never again asked the princess to be his bride, much as he might have wanted to. And that is how the princess befriended the old bear, and how she refused him. Oh, it's a beautiful story. I wonder who wrote it. Okay, so we've read that.
Pelican.
She was the most generous one.
Yeah, but there was always a catch. The bear was the most helpful one. He was always around.
Stalking her?
What? No.
I mean, he was kinda always there, lurking.
You go here.
You done?
Poor Moose. Really didn't do him justice.
Justice? Kind of ironic, huh?
Considering he was the lawful good one.
Too bad the law isn't really just.
This one.
You stumped?
Not sure what we need to do. Hang on a minute. Let's go. Bear, moose, and pelican, right? So. Moose, bear, and pelican. Moose, bear, pelican. Okay, let's see. So what do we need to do now then, Moose. Moose, pelican, and a bear, no?
All right. I think I'm done.
You sure?
How do you like them apples?
I mean, yeah, sure, maybe. What about these guys? I don't see them being real-life people, or this one.
I managed to get another rare achievement, so that's pretty good, isn't it? The puzzles are based on all that is there. In the scrapbooks, it's very important that you keep checking it and looking at it. Okay.
Yep, totally Marianne.
Why a princess, though? Why not a queen?
She hated authority.
Yeah, she'd have been a terrible ruler.
The specific human attributes you have assigned to these forest animals are truly thought-provoking.
Indubitably.
Boogeyman.
You better hurry, or the Mad Hunter will catch us! We need to hide. This way! What's going on? I don't know. Is he here? Is he really here? I don't know. I'm scared. Go away!
He is here.
Yeah! Go back to the forest!
I forgot about that. We'd been pretending he was there.
And then, suddenly he was.
That was the only time that happened, right? Allison? Wait. It felt way too real. It was...
Us. Pushing our imagination way too far.
Great. Sam Kansky, Grandmaster of Bad Timing. We're not done with this conversation.
Morning, Sam.
Ahoy, goblins!
Supplies.
I ran into Chief Brown, who said you were starting the cleanup on the house this morning, so, I kind of figured you might need some supplies.
That's... Thank you. That was very thoughtful.
So listen, I wanted to apologize for scaring you yesterday.
You didn't. Your shotgun did.
Yeah, well, anyway, I also came by to say I fired up the Google and I did some reading. I didn't know the difference between all those words. I mean, never been much of a reader. Huh? But I think I get why what I said was wrong, and I'm real sorry. Oh, and before I forget, for the lady of the house.
For the lady of the house. Look at this.
It was your mom's favorite recipe. Still make it darn near every week. Think of her every time.
Thanks. But we don't have a stove. Still no electricity.
Oh yeah, that fuse box is busted. Just another thing I've been meaning to put back together around here.
Where is it? I can take care of it.
Oh, I don't doubt you can. But, I've been kicking this thing back to life for the last 20-some years. I'll give you a hand.
All right.
Box is in the barn. Follow me.
We'll be right behind you.
So let's go to the barn. Okay.
That apology was something.
Come on. We need lights. So be nice to the helpful man.
rather creepy, isn't it? Must be attached to some secret
So,
lab from the past.
How's school?
I graduated already. Outdoor studies.
Oh, outdoor studies, huh? Well, it's a good thing I came along when I did. You know, I built this here barn for your mama.
You really helped her out, huh?
Now, you know, just a few chores here and there. I was glad to help. Your mother, she... No. I could never bring myself to leave her high and dry. Anyways, let me find that darn key.
Wait, Sam. You have more of our keys?
Yeah. The one for the barn's called a railroad key. See, it's got this special tip that you can...
Fascinating. I'll take that off your hands now.
Well, I, figured I might still need to do some maintenance, so,
Nope. We're good. Thank you.
fair warning, door's a bit temperamental.
Haven't you been taking care of this place? You didn't oil the doors?
What? You think I just hang out here all day or something? Here, son, give me a try.
Good.
Okay, when you twist it as far as you can to the left, give it a nice little jerk.
Damn it.
No shit.
Well, at least the door's open now.
Yeah.
All right. Fuses go into plugs.
Thirteen fuses, Oh, I see, you've got to... Alright. 13... 20...
Let's try this one.
All right, let's take a look.
Look at what? The whole jam needs to be replaced.
Nah, just need to sand that part down. You could refinish the whole thing, but that's a lot of work for an old door.
Hold on.
Pass me that handle.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Shit!
Oh.
What happened? You okay?
Yeah, it's just a bum knee. I wrecked it playing ball.
Ball? Football? In college?
High school. Best damn fullback around. Well, till I got hurt.
Damn. That's rough.
Yeah. What would that be? Oh no.
Handle seems to be working just fine. Problem must be the latch.
No shit. It's covered in rust.
Nothing a little salt and lime can't fix.
Salt and lime. It's a door latch, not a bottle of cheap tequila.
Sure could go for a margarita right about now.
A margarita? Really?
Hey, sometimes old Sam likes to feel fancy.
Wait, that's not right.
You sure you don't need a hand?
Hey, I'm moving at my own pace. I need to know this stuff.
Alright.
Women, huh?
Don't do that, Sam.
Did you read the note next to the box? Here, hold this. I want to get a look at the spindle.
Shouldn't we get this cleaned up before we put it back together?
I just want to check something. Hey, you two got any, bear insurance?
What for? You and your gun are always around.
Oh, not always. And you can't fend off a bear with smart-ass remarks, you know?
We're not getting a gun, Sam. Ugh, there's mold everywhere.
Well, don't stick your nose in there. Shh, like it's a goddamn bouquet. Mildew's always a problem with these doors. They're on the north side, so no sunlight.
Sounds like the builder really screwed that up, huh?
Hey now, watch yourself.
We just need to clean it with turpentine, right? And borax?
Mm-hmm. Probably ought to blow dry it, too. I usually air out the barn much as I can. And oil in the spring.
Linseed?
Hell no. That stuff's a hatchery for mold. Teak is what you want.
I guess I should try a higher amp fuse.
Now, careful you don't put a low amp in a high amp plug. That's a fire just waiting to happen.
Just do the math, Allison.
A little silver bit. It needs to be forced back onto the brass bit.
That's... Damn it. Hey, don't get frustrated. Try again.
It's weird, there's no clue in there at all. Electrical board that goes around, but in case
Don't
you want to
budge.
check that
Is
careful,
there any
not
3-in-1 oil in the barn?
Nope.
Yes,
You'll have to pick some up at the Becky's. Anyways, see how loose the bolt is?
120 amps
Strike
for
needs to
full
be
house.
replaced.
Does that mean we can't fix the door?
Pretty proud of
Yeah.
myself.
Not today.
Respectable white collar.
So much for an easy fix.
Sight and this is quite obvious now when you know it, isn't it? This is sorted, and then we just need to.
Seems good.
One's missing.
You damn fool.
Everything okay?
You two look like you got this all in hand, so, Bye.
What was that about?
We need to now explore the shed. See what's in here.
Preda rep. What's that?
Wolf pee.
Ew, what?
Do not spill it on your shoes.
I sense a story.
Well, if by story you mean using it at fireweed to get rid of some rats, and then spilling it on my only pair of shoes, then yes. Hey, it was not funny.
Sure thing, B-boy.
Hey there, little buddy.
Are you cooing at a spider? It had better be a tiny one.
Don't listen to the mean lady. You're an 8-legged beauty. Oh man, I'm gonna put together the sweetest toolbox ever.
Huh, look at this. I think this is where she made all her toys. Toilet paper tubes, rope, cardboard.
I wonder what she planned to make with that.
She was so crafty.
And she could draw and write and take pictures.
She could have been an artist instead of just locking herself up out here.
Allison, do you know who this is?
Look at this. I think this is where she made all her toys.
She probably did. It's quite a fact.
What did you find?
Do you know who that is?
Yeah. That's Carol, Eddie's mom. I've seen other pictures of her, but never this one.
Man, look at Brown. And Marianne. She looks really happy.
Can I?
Careful, the glass is broken.
Are you okay? It stings. Let's go see Mom.
But she'll get mad. We weren't even supposed to be here.
Memory out there.
Come on, it's gonna get infected.
You know, it reminds me of Sergio Leone's films, like Once Upon a Time in America, or Bergman's, where you would have an activity, like for instance she cut a finger, and that activity would trigger off a deep memory and you'd be brought back into the past. And they use that so beautifully in here. So absolutely thumbs up, really, for Dontnod developer. Very well imported for some of the best and the finest films ever made.
I don't want to. She said not to disturb her and Eddie. Where are you going?
Things were different when she was around. We were family, Eddie. How could you do this to me?
Shh.
Look, I had to make that call.
What were they talking about? I can't figure out what's going on.
I don't know, but I remember that whatever Eddie had to do, whatever that call was about, it was tearing him up.
Tearing him up? He was being a total cop, and Marianne got pissed and threw him out. Here, I'm gonna show you what I remember. There's more. I can feel it.
I had to make that call. I was just following the law.
Oh, yeah? And this little visit right here? What would the law say about this, huh?
Look, I didn't have to come out here, but I did.
You're a goddamn hypocrite. Get out of here!
Marianne.
I said get out! Out!
What? She didn't throw the picture at him.
You sure about that? He was being a complete dick.
How can you be sure? We were eavesdropping. We could barely see a thing.
What do you think happened then?
You see, at this point, the memories are colliding. Previously, we had Tyler's memories.
Look. I had to make that call. I was following procedure. What I'm legally required to do.
Then why are you here? Pretty sure this isn't procedure.
I wanted you to hear it from me.
Please leave.
Marianne. I'm sorry.
Please just go.
How do we keep remembering the same things so differently?
It was a long time ago, and, well, memory's a tricky thing.
Wait, when did that happen?
I'm not sure. I think it was the exact same day she attacked you.
That's what I thought.
But Uncle Eddie said he hadn't seen Marianne for weeks.
Yeah, that was bullshit. And what was all that about following the law? What was he doing here exactly?
He must have had his reasons for not telling us.
Look, I know he took care of you, but that doesn't make him incapable of lying.
I can't see him being that cold with Marianne, even if he was being a cop.
I mean, I can, but who knows? I guess memory's a tricky thing, huh?
Get out. Get out. I know you were just doing your job, but I need you to go before you get in trouble. Please just get out of here.
So he did something criminal. He did something which was...
Alright. Say Brown really felt bad about whatever he came out to tell her. It was still the day she attacked us. He still lied. Now what?
We go and get a straight answer from him.
Right now?
Yes. I'll go get my car keys.
But what will these mountains of trash do without us?
Fuck the trash.
Trash is not important, it's the answers we want. Another act here within chapter 2 completed, I think. Oh, look at that, Alaskan winter. Freezing cold.
Man, I can't believe Brown lied. I mean, I may not be the guy's biggest fan, but he's always talking about the truth and the law and shit.
Do you have to be so happy about it?
What?
I know you've been waiting for something like this. Something that proves Eddie's an asshole. But gloating about it is really not cool. It's Tina. I gotta take this. Yeah, just a sec. I'm parking the car.
Guess I'll just go stretch my legs then.
No, just give me a sec. Okay, Tina, what's going on?
Hi, hon. I've got someone who is super interested in seeing the house.
Oh, that's amazing. When?
They're just in the area for a couple of days, so they'd like to come by day after tomorrow.
Oh, I'm not sure it'll be ready.
Hun, this guy is very motivated, but I know he's looking at other properties. And it's not like you've had people breaking down the door.
I appreciate that, but we've kinda got a lot going on over here.
Did I mention it would be an all-cash offer.
It's not the right time.
A cash offer, Allison.
I'm sorry, but it'll be a total mess. I don't want to waste anyone's time.
Okay, well, you tell me when you're ready.
Huh. Well, I think I just made Tina's shit list.
Where did it go? No? There's gotta be something up there, right? Something else to look at.
In a few weeks, you'll be able to climb to the top of that waterfall. With an ice pick. God, I'd love to be able to make something like this.
It's not too difficult actually with the right tools and some imagination. Okay.
Dee and I did that trail a couple years ago. We drank ice-cold beers when we reached the summit.
Black Creek Trail. Everyday shuttles the trail on Dallas Crossing. Okay. Is there anything else?
Whose votes are you looking to win out here, Tom? The Bears?
Tom Vecchi for mayor. We know who he is. He's the owner of that shop where we did our shopping. Is that just the two? There should be three. Or not? Maybe not. Caution. Bear encounters are frequent during summer run. Exercise extreme caution during all rivers, local trail sweepings. Do not feed the bears, stay alert, never hike alone. In case of land attack, fight back vigorously. Okay. Going to be meeting some bears in there. Can we get through there? Or not? Not evidently not. Another one in here. Examine this
The
squirrel.
artist really nailed this one. Dorian Key. Kinda rings a bell.
But if you probably did not realize, these sculptures were literally carved out of that wood, and you know they were doing it within the block rather than cutting up the wood and doing it elsewhere. So that's the reason why they're positioned in there. It's quite nice to see this.
Looks like you found a nice spot.
We've been here before, right?
Yep.
So, Tina?
Tina West, our realtor.
Oh, that Tina. What'd she need?
She had someone who wanted to see the house, but he could only come by day after tomorrow.
And you told her no?
Yeah. We need more time than that, to get things cleaned up and,
Thanks. But what if it's the only call we get?
And I guess we just grow old and lose our minds in that fucking house.
Sounds like a plan. So, before Tina called, we were talking.
Yeah?
I'm not happy your foster father fucked up.
Oh yeah? Because you sure sounded like it.
He hid information about Marianne.
I know! You just don't have to rub it in.
I get it. You're always gonna side with him over me.
Come on, that's not fair.
Then why do you keep doing it?
This town, these people, they're just memories to you. But it's my home, Tyler. My friends, my family. And as much as I want answers, I'd rather not lay waste to my entire life to get them.
I didn't come here to ruin your life, Allison. I just want some answers.
I know. That's why we're doing all this, right?
Yes, we are.
Our hometown looks pretty picturesque from here, doesn't it?
You're way more attached to this place than you let on.
Come on, Tyler, help me out here. Why do you shut people out like this?
You're literally talking inside my head. Not sure how I could shut you out even if I tried.
You know what I mean, Ty.
Alright, my friends, I think we've come to the end of our time for today. Our broadcast is about to end, and that is our first broadcast. Basically.
Hey, you feeling this?
This is our first broadcast of the day. Tell me why, Chapter 2. We started with the gameplay for the first time here. The game is being premiered here on my channel. And we'll carry on tomorrow with another hour or 90 minutes or so of this wonderful adventure game as provided by Don't Nod, the developer, and accessible for us all on Xbox Game Pass. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found the adventures as curious as myself. And the world of Tell Me Why is somewhere halfway between Alan Wake, the wonderful Remedy game, and Twin Peaks, the well-known David Lynch's television series from the 90s. And it's full of secrets, and we are unpacking, as you say, we are unpicking them and discovering them bit by bit, as you could see today. So we did discover that there was some sort of exchange between the police lieutenant and the mother, and we'll find out tomorrow basically what those issues were. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you enjoyed some of the introductions and the news. Thank you all for watching and participating on different platforms today. Very, very grateful as always, and thank you also for your feedback that I received since last Friday. I've had quite a few messages coming in telling us what you thought of Tell Me Why, and as to why you consider the game to be groundbreaking. And I collated some of that feedback, sent it to Don't Nod already, and we'll do exactly the same in no time with all the other feedback that I'm hoping to get from early next week once we completed the chapter 2. Our broadcast will resume in about 10 to 15 minutes with another part of Red Dead Redemption 2 streams here on my channel. We've already gone through chapters 1 and 2, and we are going to be carrying on where we left it off yesterday. And that is going to be a significantly different world to this one. This is in Alaska, which is up north of the US, and Red Dead takes place in Arizona, which is down south, and indeed at the turn of the century, 1899 the year is, where John Marston and the crew had found themselves in. So we'll carry on with Red Dead very, very shortly, but until then, I wish you all a very, very good afternoon.